Does NBA scandal condemn sports in era of fake news? Let's believe the evidence opinion, this game is rigged. Can't believe the script had that team winning. Player X is freezing out player Y because he's facing him in fantasy this week. Most of us have expressed similar sentiments over the years about the sports we watch. In jest. But Thursday's shocking revelation that the FBI indicted more than 30 people allegedly linked to a gambling scandal tied to the NBA served to do exactly what pro sports leagues used to fear about any association with betting, rocking the public's confidence in the integrity of the sports it consumes. Should we be all that surprised? Really? Warning alarms have blared since 2018, when the Supreme Court loosened regulations on sports wagering, opening the industry to states far afield from the formerly singular legal sports betting bastion that is Las Vegas. It wasn't long after that when pro leagues like the NFL began doing what had previously been unthinkable and taboo, partnering with betting sites like FanDuel and DraftKings and even allowing sportsbooks to advertise in conjunction with their most premium content, games. For years, we've been trying to parse authentic news from fake, while elected officials, and apparently even Justice Department lawyers at this point, wantonly lie. Many of us have become increasingly desensitized to it. Others actually embrace it. Do we really even know what we're looking at anymore on the silver screen, much less Instagram or YouTube, as artificial intelligence increasingly creeps in? Aren't we already at the point where we can't really distinguish legitimate actors from deep fakes or digitally manufactured ones? Is Indiana Jones 83? Or 43, how are we supposed to know if a pro player is shaving points? Or trafficking insider injury information? It's not like players across the pro sports spectrum haven't incurred suspensions in recent years for myriad violations, including betting on games involving their teams. It happens, the respective commissioner touts his league's gambling guardrails, and everyone basically moves on. Now the FBI, at a time when its own credibility is under fire, has stepped in to throw a fragmentary grenade into the NBA's operation. Yet how much will fans care what Damon Jones or Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier or Portland Trail Blazers coach Chauncey Billups purportedly did a week from now? Or even tomorrow? How long before Adam Silver, if he wanted, could hire Vince McMahon as a creative consultant, and no one would blink? And what does it all matter if there's a metaverse where the New York Jets are the babyface dynasty while the Kansas City Chiefs are the weekly tomato cans? Easy as it is to be cynical, let's not allow our faith in sports to be irreparably fractured just yet. There are too many talented athletes working too hard for championship glory, much less simply putting food on the table, and have too much integrity and honor to believe this is all a systemic ruse. Not for nothing, there are also far too many incapable of keeping a secret this big for us to begin dismissing the veracity of what we see from the couch, press box, upper deck, or sideline. And while LeBron James has somehow exceeded all the hype that's been heaped on him for more than a quarter century, even if Jones apparently profited from knowing how healthy he was, leagues that aren't actually scripted had no room for would-be leading men like Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel, Markel Fultz, or Darko Milicic. None lasting despite apparently emanating from central casting. We should feel comforted that Dwayne, "The Rock," Johnson is nearly incomparable as a professional wrestler but not good enough to play in the NFL and apparently doesn't have sufficient business acumen beyond making movies and tequila to make the UFL anything more than the fringe football league its forebears have always been. Sports never have been, nor will be, a pure meritocracy. Contracts, public relations, personalities, and the like perpetually exert varying influences. Yet so much of the unparalleled excellence and unimaginable tragedy, not to mention the mundane Week 8 NFL game or Tuesday night NBA contest, are too compelling to be authored by some athletic puppet master. Or sullied by shysters. Not when you see what Shohei Ohtani and George Springer just managed in order to create their World Series matchup. Not when you see the New York Giants find a way to lose an 18-point lead in the final 6 minutes of a game. Not when you see a 7'5", 245-pound player like Victor Wembanyama run the break, unless he decides to pull up and pop a three. Not when Damar Hamlin nearly dies on a football field before he and his career are revived. Don't tell me those moments were or could be orchestrated. Our sports aren't the WWE writ large, not that wrestling's ardent fans would care. May they never be. All NFL news on and off the field. Sign up for USA Today's 4th and Monday newsletter. Gambling involves risk. Please only gamble with funds that you can comfortably afford to lose. While we do our utmost to offer good advice and information, we cannot be held responsible for any loss that may be incurred as a result of gambling. We do our best to make sure all the information that we provide on this site is correct. However, from time to time mistakes will be made and we will not be held liable. Please check any stats or information if you are unsure how accurate they are. No guarantees are made with regards to results or financial gain. All forms of betting carry financial risk, and it is up to the individual to make bets with or without the assistance of information provided on this site, and we cannot be held responsible for any loss that may be incurred as a result of following the betting tips provided on this site. Past performances do not guarantee success in the future, and betting odds fluctuate from one minute to the next. The material contained on this site is intended to inform, entertain, and educate the reader, and in no way represents an inducement to gamble legally or illegally or any sort of professional advice. Gannett may earn revenue from sports betting operators for audience referrals to betting services. Sports betting operators have no influence over, nor are any such revenues in any way dependent on or linked to the newsrooms or news coverage. Terms apply. See operator site for terms and conditions. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call the National Council on Problem Gambling 24/7 at 1-800-GAMBLER, NJ-OH, 1-800-522-4700, CO, 1-800-BETSOFF, IA, 1-800-9, with ITIN. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Sports betting and gambling are not legal in all locations. Be sure to comply with laws applicable where you reside. It is your sole responsibility to act in accordance with your local laws.